All right, continuing along with all the Walker type of repairs and tips and tricks that I have on the channel, I wanted to kind of dive a little deeper. I see a lot of people getting Walkers. I get a ton of questions about the belts and how hard they are to change in the field. Now, Walker has designed these machines to be able to change belts without tools out in the field, and that can be done, and it is fairly easy. Um, but there's a little bit of snaking involved, and there's a couple little tricks you can use that actually kind of do involve tools, but you could pretty much use anything you have. And I was actually changing the belt on this machine, so I figured it would be a good time to make a video on it. This is one of the watchers of the channel's Walker mowers, and I have had it in for service before, and we're doing some more service on it. And one of the things is the belt, and the belt that we're talking about is the one that goes between the PTO box and the GHS blower. It's right down there. Small little belt, but it's really tight. There's got this spring idler arm that's, the tensioner, which is a little difficult to get to. I'll show you how I do it, quick and easy. It does require tools, so to speak, but you could pretty much use a couple of sticks if you really needed to. But I'll show you the way I usually end up doing it, because it's a little tight of an area, and then you're trying to wedge the thing out. And well, I know they make a blower lockout kit. What you do is it's basically like a little tension rod that you push down and click in, and it takes the tensioner and keeps it in the sprung position so the belt doesn't spin to stop your blower from turning when you're using something, an implement that doesn't require the GHS blower. And I know people that have that, you can use that to change your belt, because you just disengage the belt and then you've got the play to be able to take it off. This is kind of along those lines, though. Most people don't have that, including myself. So I'm going to show you that. And the only other thing I wanted to mention while I had it done, I just noticed it on the side. I'm changing the fluid in the gearboxes on this deck. And, usually you're going to have your deck on the ground, and there's no like drain underneath to drain them out. So, you got people using like turkey basters and stuff, sucking the oil out. This is what I do. I disconnect the deck anytime I'm working on a mower, just to make it easier to get to everything and check everything out. And you want to do a good visual of all this inner workings and the springs and all these, the hinges and plastic chutes and all that anyway. So I take the deck out, and this is what I do. The deck will stay on its upright position like this. It just sits right on the front caster wheels. They just flip out of the way, and then the metal housing it'll hold. It does better on a floor. Of course, I'm out in the environment here working, but as you can see, it keeps it upright. And what I usually do, you can open up just one of the covers here and drain it, and what you can do is just lift one end up, block something under it, and just let it sit like overnight, and it will all slowly travel throughout all the gearboxes and come out. But if you're in a little bit of a quicker rush, what I like to do is I basically do that, but a quick version. I do both sides. I drain that side, and then I put it up a little bit and let it sit a little just to get that center box, the remainder out. And then you can lay it back down when you refill it. So that's how I do it. All I do is take a milk crate, because that allows you to get your drain bucket closer, because you see the pin. You really don't want to just, if you don't have this crate, boy, we're really close here. Let's see if, you could just put it like this, I guess, but what happens is as this drips down, it's going to get all over the deck. So it's crazy. This is just something I've been doing for years, just because I've done it once and it worked, so I just keep doing it the same way. And it's kind of information that is more valuable than I realized, because, somebody doing this for the first time, you're going to try to rig up whatever you can to make that happen. But most people got a milk crate and a drain, a drain bucket. So that's how I do that. So I just want to show you that. And we'll go back to this belt. I've got it rigged up now, and I'll show you kind of how easy it is to do. What I actually do, there's a couple ways you can do it, but you can actually see the pulley. See if we can get a good visual on it. You can see the pulley right down here. Okay, and there's a bolt sticking off the front of it. You should be able to see it right there. I'll stick my finger in right there. It's a new camera, guys. I'm trying to work with the focus on this, so you can see that little nub sticking out. Now you can take a wrench and stick it up and use the wrench as leverage, but I usually just use like a long pry bar like this, okay? And just put it right down on that bolt. And then you've got this handle up here, okay? What you do is you just push down on it. It'll be spring tension. Push down on it and hold, okay? If you have two people, have somebody hold it. If you're by yourself, you can do it this way. And then we're going to get down underneath here. Okay, so now I'm going to do it both ways here. I've got the bar right here. And I'm going to get right on that nut. And then you just apply some pressure. See the screwdriver right here? All I do is slide it under the frame into the pulley. The pulley has a thick ridge on it. And then let it go. The screwdriver stays in place. Hopefully I can get... Should be able to see that now. Boy, the focus is weird on this. Let's see if I can... See if that's better. But right there you can see the screwdriver. And you can see the pulley right there. See how it slides right into the pulley. And that holds the pulley down. And what's good about this method is it leaves all this area in here all wide open to replace the belt. You can take the belt out and put the belt back in with this in the locked position like that. And then when you're done, you just pull the screwdriver out. And you're retensioned. So yeah, that's what I do to replace that belt. And the belt is just a little, I don't have it right here. Do I have the old one? No, I don't. But it's pretty much that easy. I've got a ton of other tips and tricks, time savers on these machines. They're not complicated to work on at all, but there is a lot going on in a small package. And depending on what you're replacing, there's a lot of shortcuts. You can get the starter out by unbolting the motor and leaving a lot of the components still connected to the motor, and you can lift it up a little bit and you're able to get the starter out without completely disconnecting and taking the whole motor out. I do have a video on that, doing it the correct way, pulling the motor right out. But on the newer ones, now that they got the oil coolers and all this extra accessory stuff connected, I usually cheat that way. I disconnect it and I just lift the motor up. I just wedge it up a little bit and you can get the starter out right from the side. And there's a bunch of other things. So as I'm going through its early spring here, I'm going to be servicing a bunch of machines. I'm going to go ahead and upload any other tips and tricks that I can think of that might save you some time. I've been fighting with that. Like if you go out in the field, you're having a bad day, that belt is broken, you're under there out on the customer's lawn, you're fighting with it, the thing's wedging, you know, it's got a decent amount of spring tension on that pulley. So it can be a little difficult to work with. Anybody else, I'm sure there's a better way to do it. That's how I do it. There's got to be a quicker and easier way. It's just always worked for me, so I'm kind of used to it. But anybody else, if you've got another way to do it that's a little quicker and easier than that, share it in the comments, please. Help us out. And because I know a lot of guys are servicing their own machines lately. You know, Walker dealers are very expensive, and it's more the time than anything than, you know, the inconvenience of being able to, I mean, the convenience of being able to fix it and be back on the road the same day is priceless, you know. Who wants to drop their machine off? You know, yeah, it's great to have a warranty or whatever, and it's going to be fixed, no charge, but you're without your machine for a number of days, up to even weeks, depending on the situation. So, but yeah, that's about it for today, guys. I wanted to share a little bit of a tip as I get them, so it's not a very big video, but check out the rest of the channel. I got a bunch of other tips and stuff on these mowers if you're working on them. I'm out here in my mobile workshop just servicing this machine. And there will be quite a few more coming up in the near 2 months or so as I'm working on all these mowers. I got a whole bunch of friends that bring their walkers to me now, and I usually service them. So, all right, that should be it for this video, guys. Have a good one. See you next time.